peoples. So transfer has happened. Babies are now on board. I am pregnant. So yeah, how did it go? So I think my last video I was just talking about how I was feeling before. I think I left you after I'd gotten the call from the embryologist. So our appointment was at 12:15. So hubby and I drove down, gave ourselves plenty of time, you know, arrived, got in there, changed into our respective gowns, and then, you know, they do the usual checks for me, you know, they check your vitals, your blood pressure, go through what's about to happen. The nurse came, asked me the same questions, made sure that they had the right person, name, date of birth, etc., etc. Then I think they were a little bit behind, about 10 minutes or so. I was starting to feel it because you have to go in with a full bladder, and mine was really, really full, you know. They asked me to do a full bladder, I gave them a full bladder, and so I was in pain, I was rocking, but, you know, she said, oh, you can go and, you know, just wee a little bit. Like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. That feels like that would be 10 times worse. So I just powered through. And so yeah, so they took us in. My husband was sitting on a little stool just behind the nurse. And basically what the nurse will do, she'll do an over the stomach scan while the embryologist, while the doctor does the transfer. So went in, first saw the embryologist, who kind of talked us through the embryo and just reiterated what was said over the phone, that it's a good, both embryos are in a good place, both above average. They have a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being absolutely excellent, and ours were 2. So we're really pleased. They're divided as they should be, and they're still doing good. And the picture was so beautiful. Oh, I've got a picture somewhere. Yeah, let me just show you a little picture of our babies. There they are. Look, aren't they beautiful? So those are our 2. 1 I think is divided into 7 and 1 into 8. And she said the reason why that they were slightly downgraded was because there's some fragmentation somewhere. I'm not even going to attempt to point it out right now, but yes, both of these little wonders are on board right now. So yeah, and so she came, did that. Then then I got onto the bed, put my foot up in the stirrups, and first, it's very much like a smear test, you transfer. So first, she was cleaning out all the pessaries, all the debris from the pessaries, because I started taking the progesterone's pessaries for the last couple of days. So she cleaned that out first, and then she puts in like a catheter type thing. You see it all on the screen, and then almost like a straw, I would say, and then in that straw she will put the second device that has the embryos on in it. And so yeah, it was all very quick. There was no issue with getting to my uterus because my bladder was very, very full, and there was no pain, no nothing. It took a few minutes. We saw the little flash of light as the fluid came out of the catheter. Then the embryologist confirmed that everything was out of the catheter, and that was pretty much it. I think I laid down for about 2 minutes, and got up, ran to the toilet, and got changed, and then we were back in the car on the way home. and that was it. Had a bit of a cry on the way home. I think it's almost it wasn't necessarily I don't know why I was crying. It was a little bit of fear. You know, it's funny because of my last go round, I was pregnant, so I'm instantly finding myself comparing, because I remember exactly how I felt. And I remember that when I was leaving and I was driving home, I felt twinges, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't feel any twinges, what's going on? And that was starting to build, and just the magnitude of it. And you know, I really want to do this for both myself, but as well for my husband. You know, he really wants us to have our children, and it just overwhelmed. I was just overwhelmed, and I started crying. But you know, I have a wonderful husband, and he was really encouraging and just reminded me that it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. This is going to work. It's fine. It's fine. And yeah, got home. Yesterday was funny because the cramping was quite severe. I had quite a bit of cramping yesterday. Had a lot of the feels. And what else did I feel yesterday? Felt a little bit sick. All of this could be, you know, because of the actual transfer itself and the fact that they have got stuff, they're sticking stuff up there, aren't they, really? So, but yeah, I did feel a little bit sick. Didn't have much of an appetite, and I was cramping, and I think that was about it. Felt some pulling, and some twinges, and then last night, same thing, cramping most of the night, and just feels sore in my uterus a little bit. And then this morning I was like, oh, I felt some dull stabbing pains. I was like, oh, what's this? And off and on cramping, and some little bit of headache, you know. You know, it is similar. I do feel very similar to how I felt last year, but I'm doing my level best. My level best not to compare. I started because I journal, and so I've got everything written down. I've got my first cycle, my second cycle. I've got it all written down exactly how I felt day by day, symptoms day by day. And I started reading them this morning, and I was like, Zilly, stop it. Stop it, because you know what you're going to do. You're going to start comparing, and this is a whole new cycle. It's a whole different time. It's two totally different embryos who are going to respond totally differently. Stop it. So I'm going to do my best to stop it. I have obviously been binge watching a lot of IVF videos on YouTube. Don't think that's going to change because I'm really enjoying that. But I'm really just trying to not compare. Yeah. And yeah, so you know, there are various symptoms. I don't really want to list too much of them, because you know, to get a positive pregnancy. No, not even a positive pregnancy test. When the babies are born, and I'm showing you the pictures of our babies, that's when I'll be like, then this happened and that happened, and I felt this and I felt that, because then you know. I don't know. I'm just babbling now. And I've just had some breakfast. Didn't have much of an appetite this morning, so I just had like a pile of toast. And yeah, so there's extra saliva in my mouth and a bit of a funny taste in my mouth. But I'm like, this is way too early for me to be having actual pregnancy symptoms. But you know what? All things are possible with God. Who knows? Who knows? You know. So I'm going with it. I'm enjoying it. I'm thanking God for our little babies. They're so beautiful. And you know, I want to spend most of my days smiling, not anxious, not, you know, worried, just thankful. because you know it's not a given to make it to this stage, and so I don't take it lightly, the fact that we've been blessed with another 2 beautiful embryos, and I just pray that I carry them well, take care of them well, and see them through to term in the name of Jesus. So I guess probably back on here, I would say, when I have a feeling. I don't know. Will I be testing before I think it's the 26th of October is the official testing date. I'm likely to test before, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know when. Obviously only when I know that there'll actually be something to see. I do not want to see a blank test. That is, I don't understand why people do that whole testing out the trigger. Oh, there's nothing joyous about seeing a blank pregnancy test. So I'd rather just wait until I should expect to see 2 lines. So until then, I'll see you later.